Hello there and welcome to another exciting edition of your favorite all-women talk shows, Sister Sister, live on Citi TV and Citi FM. My name is Jessica. Thank you so much for joining us. And remember, the show is live, also across sub-Saharan Africa. DSTV channel 363 will get you there. You can also log on to GoTV channel 182. The show is brought to you by Secure. It's also brought to you by Vodafone. And on tonight's episode, his girlfriend is so demanding he does not know how to deal with it and has reached out to us for help. Plus, another guy's girlfriend is a different person when angry. And that makes him not want to go ahead. He's wondering how to tackle this. We get into this, story and more right after this. Right, on tonight's episode, I've got my sisters joining me in studio. As always, I've got Olivia in the house. Good to see you, Olivia. What's going on? How's your week been?
Interesting, good, okay. Considering I can't feel certain parts, but yeah, as long as I can feel the machine, is fine. Everything is okay.
You're not making sense. You can't feel certain parts, but you can feel the machine.
After.
After what? After. Are you okay? You're speaking in parables, girl. But yeah.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Yeah, that is true. Debbie, good to see
Jessica.
you. What's good?
Oh, well, everything is all right.
Super. Mm-hmm. You're matching your lipstick, your blouse, and your hair to some level.
Well, darling, you know how we do.
You look well.
Thank you.
You look well. Joining us straight from South Africa, Johannesburg, we have Sabby. What's going on, girlfriend?
Hi, ladies. How you doing?
Good. We're great. What about you?
I'm good. Can't complain.
Great. Things going on pretty good in South Africa?
Yeah, I actually feel like the weather at the moment, it makes me feel like I'm back in Ghana.
Oh, hello. It's nice and warm, is it?
It's like super hot.
Right. Okay, that kind of weather. Well, it's all good. Good to see you again, Sabby, and thanks for joining us. We'll go right into action, shall we? So I'll take my first story, and it says, Sisters, I'm in my late 20s, and I want to settle down soon. I met my 25-year-old girlfriend a year ago, and I made sure that she was very comfortable. She knows my family members and even talks to my mom regularly. The main issue is she still behaves like she's single. None of her family members knows me. When I pushed her to tell her family about me because I would like to go and see them soon, she gave them false information about me. She painted me as someone who was very wealthy, and I wasn't happy with that at all because I don't want them to start expecting more than I can actually offer. Another concern is that she is still in touch with her exes. She breaks up with me every time there's an issue. And the other day, I chanced on her bank account details, and the amount I saw frightened me. This is because I know her salary, and there's no way she could have saved up that much, considering how much of a spendthrift she is. She also claims she's not ready for marriage. After some convincing, she finally agreed and started giving me a long list of things that pointed to the fact that she'd like an extravagant wedding. She knows very well I won't be able to afford such. I told her that we are just starting life, so we should have a low-key wedding and use the rest of the money to start something. She got angry and said I don't love her, and that if I really love her, as I claim, then I should be proud to spend money on her on that day. After that discussion, she asked me to start giving her chop money. I told her I don't have any problem giving her money whenever she wants, but to give her chop money is what I can't do because I believe it's saved or the preserve of married couples. We're both working and not cohabiting. Sisters, I think these are red flags. So I told her my mind and started withdrawing all of a sudden. And now she has started caring about me, putting my pictures on her status and saying sweet things about me, something she's never done. I'm confused. Is this girl for real? All right. And that's our first message for the day. Demi.
Jessica.
Straight to you.
Missiles. Okay, so I think the last sentence, he thinks these are red flags. Yes, I think we can all agree that these are red flags. So, and it was funny how I caught on the fact that he said she started caring about me by posting her on social media. So is that the definition of caring about me now?
If it's something she didn't do at all,
she didn't do
then it would be
before,
like,
then she's suddenly doing it.
Yeah. You want to flaunt me to other people now.
Apparently, and it only happened after he withdrew, told her what he thought was going on and that she probably was not the one, and pulled away. And then now she suddenly, you know how she thinks he's getting away, so now she suddenly wants to see if she can reel him back in. But certainly those are red flags. She, one, painted a false picture to her parents, so I don't know about settling down for marriage for many years with a person who can fib or tell untruths to their own parents, about you. And like he rightly said, he does not want to start with certain expectations that they may have of him, which is because she did not portray the truth to her parents. So who really are you? You watch people and study them and get to know them better by how they relate to their parents, their family members, and all of that. But if this is how she relates to her own parents, then certainly all of those are red flags. So my dear gentleman, you're perfectly right. I think your instinct or your conscience or your gut, that gut feeling, that voice behind your ears really telling you that, this might not be the one for you. And I think you know that.
What do you think of her demand for a monthly stipend of sorts, like the chop money?
I don't know. Like, who is this person? Who does that? I think many young women today are under the erroneous understanding that a man has to care for a woman. Now, a man has to care for a woman, to a certain extent, provide for the home and all of that stuff in a marital setting. And of course, show, that they care and love you and how they treat you. But it's not always money related, and making demands for money, demanding an extravagant wedding whilst he's trying to, cut his coat according to his size and all of this. Spending money on somebody extravagantly does not indicates that you love them. You could do this to any old Joe down the street. So really, my thoughts on that is, women, try to come to the table with your own, even if it's the littlest bit. It's still yours, right. And you are helping and contributing to the family. May not always be financial, but you do bring your own, you hold your own fort and bring a lot to the table, rather than sit, oh, poor me, give me money for the day, that type of thing. I don't think it's really the best. Right. And like he said, she's not accountable with her money. She's a spendthrift, spends money, without reason, and is obviously getting money from somewhere else. Because he said he chanced upon her bank accounts and he knows her salary, and there was a mismatch there. So certainly she's not truthful with money either, not straightforward, and is expecting way more than he can provide. So yes, certainly more red flags.
There you go,
gentlemen. So run.
Living.
Yeah.
I agree, 110%. I agree. Sounds like she's looking for Father Christmas. And I mean, you know the answer. You can tell the beginning from the end. You know that she's definitely not the person to be with. Go with your gut feeling. Don't hold on to it. I mean, the foundation, as we speak, everything is wrong. First and foremost, financial trust issues with her. You don't know where she's getting money from. She wasn't excited to show you off to your parents, to her parents, but you told your parents. I mean, she speaks to your mom, for crying out loud. And the fact that you don't even know her side of her part or her side of a family, for me, it's a big deal. Somebody who is not constantly in a hurry to show you off, like I always say, I have a big problem with. It means that they are hiding something, or they are not ready. Everything about this girl screams immaturity. And one other thing that also put me off completely was the fact that she decides today she's in a relationship, tomorrow she's not. Okay, let's break up. It's like, okay, are you in or are you not? And I like the fact that you know who you are, and you seem to be a guy who's got your head screwed on properly, because you're like, my dear, you told her. You said to her, based on your finances, you don't think investing in a lavish wedding for people to come and eat, at the end of the day, after you guys get married, what's going to happen? After the whole ceremony is over, reality sets in. You're thinking about mortgage, you're thinking about when kids come in, school fees, a plan as a family. And for her, she's all about... She's probably thinking, okay, I want to be in the next, the most amazing wedding dress, take pictures, and that's where it ends. She doesn't share your vision. And once that foundation is not right, there's no way, if she can't see or appreciate your goals today, there's no way she's going to appreciate it in the next 10, 20 years to come. I think you're two completely different people. Find a girl who is realistic about money, about real life issues, a girl who is ready to go through the fire with you, a girl who understands you. Trust me, Charlie, if you get a girl who understands you, you have all the peace of mind in this world to grow as a person, as a man, and nurture your family, than have a wife who's constantly nagging about money. I want this, I want the latest iPhone, I want the this, I want the that. Charlie, too much wahala. Clearly, I don't see the relationship moving forward from here. It's not by force, Tell her, like, sweetheart, it's not gonna work. You can tell she's pretending to be somebody just because she is almost as though maybe her previous something, she was banking her hopes on something, it didn't work, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm actually going to lose you. Oh, all of a sudden I love you. It's like, okay, didn't she know she loved you from day one? So what has changed? So she's not being real with you. And for me, life, there's too much wahala in this world happening right now. Find somebody who loves you for you, who appreciates for you, who is genuine and true and pure in heart and loves you back just the way you are. And trust me, you'll be fine. For now, I don't think this is a relationship you should be in. You know the answers. Just tactfully cut the relationship off or break up with her. Tell her that it's not going to work. And call a spade a spade. Trust me. Enjoy life. There's so much more to life.
Sorry, Demi says run. Olivia says she does not think this is a relationship the guy should be in. What do you think?
First thing I want to say is the guy is not confused. He said, I'm confused. He's not confused. He knows what is going on, but he doesn't want to let go, and he's hoping that we're going to tell him something different so he can hold on. Second thing, there's mismatched expectations here. He's ready for marriage and family, and she might be too, but she's just not with him.
Right.
There are blurred boundaries here. He's seen the account. She's still in contact with her exes, which then tells me even the thing that where he said, now all of a sudden posting pictures of him, writing stuff about him, that means this chick is manipulative. She hasn't found what it is she's looking for, what it is that she thinks she deserves. So she's putting him on the back burner just for in case. He's what we call a just in case. And she probably wants him to be something he's not, which is why she said she wants chop money and she wants an extravagant wedding, and she told the family that he's got money. So which tells me that there's a certain type of guy she wants. There's a certain kind of man she wants, and he's not it. But she wants to make sure that she's got him on the back burner just in case her plans don't come to fruition. And unfortunately for me, in regards to the guy, all this is doing is it's breeding distrust, it's breeding jealousy, it's breeding insecurity. And all of those things for me are a recipe for disaster. He needs to ask himself if he really wants to go into a marriage feeling the way he's feeling. So he's trying to be, calm. He's trying to talk to her. He's trying to say, look, we're building a life, we're building a family. To be honest with you, I don't think that that's something that she's even interested in. She wants a certain type of lifestyle, even if she works. She wants a certain type of lifestyle. And for her, he's not providing the lifestyle that she wants. but she's not going to let him go just in case it doesn't work out.
Right.
And so he already knows the answer. He's not confused. He's not confused. He is not even number 2 or number 3 or number 4 on her list of priorities. And for me personally, I feel like people have to be on the same page when it comes to relationships, particularly when you're ready to get married. So think very closely about what it is you want in your life, the kind of relationship you want. And there's so many unresolved things here. There's exes. So what does that mean? When you're married, are these communications going to happen? Have you met any of these exes? What does this look like? Have you asked her about the money? Where does the money come from? This girl is far too busy. She's busy. She's busy with other things. He's busy trying to save, and he has an idea in his head of what the future is. My advice to him would be to deal with what is in front of him and not what he thinks it should be.
Yeah. Right. And to top everything off, she hasn't even introduced you to her parents. Like, what else do you want us to say? It's so obvious that this girl is not into you. There must be something, like Sabby's saying, there must be something else that, you're probably just her backup plan. And that's about it. So my dear gentlemen, there's your answer. We'll read a couple of comments coming in for this particular message. Agnes says, please run. She's a gold digger and very dependent. I doubt she's honest and will give you problems. You are both too young for this nonsense. The signs are clear. Be smart. What is chop money for? Are you her parents? When did you marry her, and what is she bringing into the relationship? This dependency culture must cease. Is she working, schooling, or what? I'm not impressed at all if everything you're saying here is factual. Connie says, I think she's not ready for marriage and is enjoying the attention she's getting from other guys. She's not focused on you for now, frankly speaking. Sit and talk to her about both of you and what she wants, if you're on the same page or not. If she does not change, then I would suggest you walk out of the relationship. Joy says, the last paragraph got me laughing. She knows you're husband material, but then she's not ready to marry, so she's doing that to keep you on hold. Wise up, bro. Angela says, my dear, it's obvious. The signs are all written all over the wall. Please flee from her as fast as you can. She's obviously pretending with her attitude towards you lately. God will bring you someone who loves you for who you are. Emmanuel says, 1, she's indecisive. She still connects with her exes and I guess other guys, and also doesn't acknowledge you as her boyfriend. 2, she's given into vainglory, very impressionistic, and lives by the motto, let's live today, for tomorrow we shall die. She wants a wedding that will rob you of a stable future. 3, she's manipulating you in order to continue benefiting from you. She started caring when she realized she was losing you. And finally, conclusion, the decision is yours to make. It will be a hard one, but use your will instead of your emotions. Don't fall for this entrapment. Lexus says, there are always 2 sides to every situation. Please take your time, relax and sit her down. Let her understand where you're coming from and where you're headed. If she wants in, you will see from her responses. Note also that some ladies are actually trimudefo, so take it easy. How do I explain trimudefo? Like people who like to be pampered or spoiled, right? That's for you, Sabby. Dede says, it's obvious you're more in love with her than she is with you. And with your quest to settle down soon, you see her as the best choice and candidate, but she already told you that she's not ready. Move on. Find someone who's ready. She's putting your pictures on WhatsApp up, and that amounts to nothing. We do that for people we don't really know, even.
Oh.
Sylvia says, I'll advise you to take your time with her. Since she told you she's not ready for marriage, don't force her. Leave her, and with time, you will find someone who will understand and be ready to help you make it work. Thank you very much. And those are a couple of your messages. It's Sister on Citi TV and Citi FM. Your comments are welcome on 054-998-6996. Let's know what's on your mind with regards to this particular message. We'll go for a quick commercial break. When we return, there's more.
words, I'm feeling very frustrated and bored in Sambulai. I'm very happy. If you don't understand, don't worry, because myself, I don't understand. In this addition, Vodafone Ghana has now made it possible to send money from Vodafone Cash to all network free. We will cross over to our senior reporter for more details.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm standing in front downtown. You know, I'm learning to make a vlog. I'm not funny as you said. Vodafone, I'm not quite said. Ultimate Senesika to Topia, Emily to Topia, Echo all the network. I will check couple. Me Tissy Montezo, Diamond Falcon.
Fifia, Matendo says, don't you put charges, Manome? Two, you blow, charges on your womb, I don't harm you. A beer says, don't have charges or Clondine. Hanning and you may fail on me. Send America charges, no charges. I met G. Naka charges say when we know money can any BP. Oh, I live with that for
For me, I do a lot of online transactions. I can guess here. See, the excitement for me is that I get to save a lot on Vodafone Cash.
Please put me down.
I'm so excited. I can now send money to all networks without any charges.
Me ye Jediniba. A BBS says a michia meduma e forecam. Sika michia set charges no. A do so do. Nancy say dear. Me the Vodafone Cash.
Sending money on Vodafone Cash to all networks is now free. Send any amount of money as many times as you like to all networks for free. Dial *110# now to send money.
Any amount for Masumo. Studio 2. Put him in car. And yeah, Musoma.
This is the red news. Apologize.
The future is exciting. Ready?
And you're welcome back to Sister Citi TV, Citi FM. Remember, the show is brought to you by Vodafone and Secure. And Secure Pill is actually a low-dose daily oral contraceptive pill that's taken daily by women to, of course, prevent unintended pregnancies. And Secure has been around, man, securing families for the last 30 years. If you ask me, if you want a contraceptive, that's the one I would recommend that you use. Secure provides the modern woman with a convenient way to plan her life. All right? With Secure, you decide. Right, so let's move on to our next message. It says, I live in a 3-bedroom house with a friend where we've converted part of the house into a project office. I get so crazy and intense in the house that sometimes I spend some nights with my old folks because of the activities of the project staff. Luckily for me, my girlfriend is yet to see such moments because I have limited her access to the house, which she thinks I'm being shady and has inadvertently brought problems to our relationships a few times. Sisters, my girlfriend is an amazing woman, but my problem is whenever there's a dispute between us, I get to see a totally different person, which scares me and pushes me away. I usually withdraw, bury myself in work until we patch things up days later. I love her so much, but her attitude when there's a dispute scares me. I keep telling myself it will get better with time because we've talked about it a few times, but I can't shake off the idea that marriage is like a refinery where the real you comes out after the I do ceremony. How do I deal with this fear? Am I right or justified for feeling this way? How do I go about it? I'm planning to move out and propose to this woman, but her attitude keeps making me get cold feet. Help from a worried man in love. Sharp tongue. Libby, Lego.
Oh, wow. I feel like the men on the people who've brought in their submissions today kind of know the answer already. You'd know that she's based on her anger management issues. You can't see yourself with her long term. You see, sometimes love can be great when you think that you have, like, your heart has got the shock absorbers to deal with whoever it is. Like, you know, like you love her, so you don't, like you don't care. Even if she gets mad, you don't care because you love her for who she is. But this is a case whereby you know yourself, and then you can see based on your experiences with her so far that you don't think it's something that you can deal with in the future, especially when, like you rightfully said, as time goes on, I mean, her true colors are actually out right now. So after you get married, familiarity, you know, everybody's comfortable, so what's the excitement again about? So it's like, I mean, she doesn't have to please you. And you can tell that it's not going to work from here. So I feel like you know the answer. I feel like you know that it's just not going to work based on how she is like. But I also want, you know, you did say something about the fact that something about where you guys live, and you haven't told her and all of that. The other thing is, okay, we can understand that maybe she's got anger issues, right? It's probably coming from somewhere. I'm not justifying her anger or whatever. It's probably coming from somewhere whereby she's been insecure for a long period of time. And you're holding some information from her. We don't know how long it's been, and we don't know how long she's been feeling insecure. Because of her reaction, you think that it's okay not to tell her certain things. But moving on, assuming that you even decide not to further this relationship, in your next couple of relationships or in your next relationship, I would ask that you, as much as possible, do not assume for your partner and how your partner will react. I don't know if I'm sort of veering off, but I feel like don't assume, but communicate things. If you're not going to be home because of workers and all of that, let her know that, oh, I can't be home because of X, Y, and Z, or I can't allow you to come to the house. Yeah. Or, you know, be as transparent as much as possible. But generally, with regards to this relationship and with regards to it moving forward, I don't think that you are in the position to deal with her management issues, her anger management issues, and I don't think that you actually want to. If you did, it would be a different story, but you don't. So I think you should move on.
Right.
In a nutshell, that's what I think.
Okay, Sabby, coming to you for your opinion on this one.
He said something about what? The house is busy, things happen.
Yeah.
And he doesn't tell her, or he hasn't invited her to the house, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the number one thing is don't think for someone. Yeah. That's what we'd say here. Don't assume. And obviously, in her mind, she thinks something's going on, which then tells me she's already got insecurities, whether it's from something he's done or whether from her past relationships. So the most important thing in this situation is for him to be as transparent as possible. So it's sweet. He obviously hasn't told her because he doesn't want to stress her out. But she is not receiving it that way. And she's not receiving it that way because he's not communicating properly. He's even said that when they fight, you know, it's almost like he shuts down, you know. And for me, there needs to be a thing where he needs to try a few things. So, like, it's very important about, you know, an attitude when people fight. I mean, couples fight all the time, you know, and it's actually normal. I think it's actually healthy sometimes to fight because that's when you really get to figure out, like, the real issues, the real problems. That's where the growth can occur sometimes, you know. The problem, though, with not talking, whether it's during or after a fight, is that resentment and anger, right? It pops up, and that's incredibly toxic and unhealthy and can really damage a relationship, right? So I think for him, he thinks that it needs to be a certain kind of way, or maybe because she gets really angry, he's not good with confrontation, or what we see as confrontation.
Right.
And so he would rather disengage from it. But in disengaging, he thinks, oh, she'll get better or she'll get over it and it'll move on. But all it's doing is that it's perpetuating, you know. The fights continue and the attitude still stays the same. There has been no resolution here. There's been no resolution. it sounds to me like he feels like she has a loss of control when they disagree, and there's disrespect, or what he feels is a disrespect. And that's why now all of a sudden he's got this deep fear. And part of that deep fear is being wrong, or part of that deep fear is that, that she will not have the inability to recognize the issue. So he's almost like he's putting his head in the sand and hoping that, it's just going to disappear. And then what that does for me, it goes, okay, how compatible are the two of you? There's a question of incompatibility here. Because my thing is, whether you're dating, even before marriage, you should feel comfortable with telling your spouse the truth, right? You should feel comfortable to go, I don't like when you speak to me like this. Or when you say A, B, C, and D, it makes me feel a certain way. It hurts me. So maybe he can try and talk to her about how he feels without blame, right? So let his partner know what he's unhappy about. And so don't place blame on it. Avoid using terms like you always or I never feel a certain way, because obviously she's very defensive, and what that's done is breed contempt. He really needs to be sure that he goes into the heart of the problem. There's a problem here. It's either, she doesn't trust him, she feels insecure, or she's brought her old problems into this relationship.
Right.
And so it's never a good idea to continue a relationship without truth. He has to trust himself. The thing that's underlined for me when he said he's fearful, and he is fearful, but he's hoping that from some manna from heaven, she's going to change and he won't have to deal with it. Right. But unfortunately for him, he's going to have to deal with it if he wants it to be better. You teach people how to treat you.
That's spot on. Demi, what do you think?
Yes, so I got hung up on a few things. One, so he's uncomfortable where he lives because part of it has been turned into a project office. Right. But it's a whole other story how a project office now is the place for all kinds of craziness, where he himself has to go sleep over at his parents' house, he says sometimes, because it's too crazy. And because of that, he has not been able to tell his girlfriend that this is what happens here sometimes. And so I'm guessing that whenever she says, oh, let's go over to your place, he comes up with some kind of excuse and everything, right? Okay, then the next part of it was that she gets angry. When she gets angry, she's a different person. So then he detaches for some time till, quote unquote, she cools down and whatnot. So because of this, he's worried and unsure about making the final or ultimate commitment to her marriage, right? If I get the whole picture right. So in this instance, as a person who is really passionate about mental health, I am going to put the work on him to do, okay? My guess is that her frustration comes really from his lack of communication, because it would have been a much easier solution or problem to find resolution to if he had just told her, look at these people, we turned it into a project office, but look at all that they're doing. If he had been open, if he had been very communicative about it and all the issues. Hey, I'm gonna go sleep over at my parents' house. Oh, why? What's happening, babe? Oh, these people again, look at what they're doing. Da, da, da. She would have been in the picture. It wouldn't have caused any problems. And he himself used the word inadvertently. Right. So his lack of communication is causing problems. So I'm guessing that it could be little spots of lack of communication in several areas in their relationship, which then causes her to feel abundantly frustrated. Right. Then snowballing or domino effect turns into, her expressing her anger, and then he thinks she's overreacting because it's nothing. And of course, when you're frustrated and trying to tell somebody something, get your feelings out, be heard, and they think you're overreacting, so they disassociate themselves. That makes the problem worse, really, particularly for women, because we have to express our emotions, how we feel about something. And for you to come to an understanding, you don't have to agree, but at least we in a relationship where conflict will arise very often, if you've been married for a while or been in a relationship, happens all the time. But how do we resolve these conflicts? And if he disassociates, that never helps. It's really, really an insidious poison. You have to get down to the uncomfortable conversations. You have to get down to things that you're dreading to tell your partner because he or she will be angry, but you have to tell them because really more often than not, 9 times out of 10, it gets worse. Right. And then emotionally detaching yourself because there's been a fight. It's never good. I think it's a little bit of emotional abuse, willfully, refusing to connect, communicate, engage with your partner because you feel that she's been rude, she's been disrespectful, she's expressed her anger. Well, nobody's like happy when they're upset. Right. What does he expect her to? I mean, it's not like she's at a nice holiday party and she's having the best time of her life. She's upset. So we all get upset. Everybody gets upset. We're not usual cheerful self. So I mean, I think she should be allowed to express her emotions, to express her anger, and she could very well suppress all of this and be very sweet. And you could have a picture where like, oh, my girlfriend is so sweet. She never gets angry. She never raises her voice. She never gets upset. No, that's not true. So she's expressing herself. I think he's with a lady who's expressive emotionally. He's not afraid to let you know how she feels, and he cannot seem to deal with that in the right way. Rather, he does the opposite thing, goes away, removes himself from the situation, thinking it will magically disappear. But no, it doesn't, and it just builds up and builds up. So I'll put a lot of work on you, work on yourself, work on communicating. If indeed she does have an anger problem, you can work through it together. It could be a factor of how she was raised, her history, her emotional makeup, all kinds of things. I mean, we throw things, some people throw things when they're angry. People do all kinds of things when they're angry. If she's willing to work with you two over time as you both grow together in your relationship, she will also learn to better manage herself. Honey, when you do this, it really makes me feel so and so and so, and she can verbalize it in an ordinary tone, right? And without having to raise your voice and all of those gimmicks. So if indeed she does have true anger management problems where she's setting buildings on fire, I don't know, he didn't really explain, but
did sound to me like she just has like a sharp...
Yes, probably a sharp tongue, but which one of us doesn't have a sharp tongue?
Me.
Don't pretend. We all do. And if she's upset, she's upset. And then how? No.
Yeah, no.
Jessica.
No, seriously. Sharp tongue?
Yeah, well, I've been known to say a thing or two.
See, I think you're a good girl.
I know. Super sweet Jessica. She's not like some of us. Sometimes you just gotta let her rip, honey. Sometimes. So I'll tell you, my dear gentlemen, deal with it. Work with your woman. I don't think you're at the point of breakup yet. You're just displeased that she's expressing her anger over something that you could have easily prevented, really. Right. And I think when she finally finds out that all of this has been going on in this project office, who isn't going to be upset? My first question would be, well, why didn't you tell me? Right. Yeah. Right. And then he probably will just block it off emotionally, probably won't respond and do all of that, the silent treatment and all of that. That's not going to work. Work with your woman. You can solve this.
Yeah. I mean, same thing I was asking myself before any of you ladies started talking was, what's the big deal? Like, why can he not tell her that he's converted his home or whatever space into an office or a project site, whatever? Like, what? So I'm asking myself, what kind of business are you into, reason for which you cannot disclose? That's one. And then there's the other aspect of her having this maybe sharp tongue, for want of a better word. Once again, like the ladies have said, it boils down to communication. Let her know how you feel about her outbursts. Let her know that you're not comfortable with it in no uncertain terms. You don't have to shout back necessarily to get your message across. And if she's really someone who wants this relationship, she will work with you. And indeed, over the next couple of weeks, months, you will begin to see progress in her attitude. And even when situations like that, that would have previously made her so mad, pop up, and she's rather, has a calmer demeanor and is willing to listen and that kind of thing. So I must agree with Demi. I don't think all is lost. I think maybe just a lot more work and transparency needs to be, inculcated in that relationship. And perhaps you guys will be able to work through this. I do understand your fear. I've actually been in a relationship like that.
Wow.
Yes. You do not want to see him angry.
Wow.
Like it goes from 0 to 100 really quick.
Whoa.
And it's very difficult to deal with, especially if you're not the confrontational type, and you're sitting there wondering, but wait a minute, what did I do? Like, why are you so mad? So I kind of feel this guy's pain.
But it will be sad to judge the girl based on just the few examples he gave.
Right, I agree.
You see?
But I mean, if it's anything to go
in
by,
general,
yes, anything to go by, it can be quite disconcerting and could make anybody reconsider. So talk. That's all I'm saying. Communicate with this woman you love so dearly and try and work your way through it. Hans has a message here. He says, if you are truly in love and ready to act as a married man, then man up. Be courageous for the responsibility ahead, because as a man, it's in your capacity to handle issues arising from your union that truly proves the intensity of your love for your woman and your maturity and preparedness to handle her wisely. Majority of women display attitude occasionally. It's in their DNA. However, it's up to you as a man to apply wisdom in handling situations peacefully to enjoy her love. You certainly won't have a perfect woman since you're not a perfect man yourself. So be ready to adjust and accept her for who she is, and you shall experience a better version of her. Prosper says, it is for you to decide if you can cope with her this way. Try to avoid disputes with her as much as possible. A different approach to addressing disputes, like talking about it at calm hours, giving her the audience more, and killing your pride a bit. Everybody has an angelic and demonic manifestation. If you arouse angelic manifestations, that is what you will get. And if you do the demonic one, you also know exactly what you'll get. You never know the challenges you may face in a different relationship. Papayal says, dialogue can solve this problem. You need to sit with her and have a long chat regarding this concern of yours. I believe you'll get to understand why she behaves that way. There's a cause to every action, and until you dig deep, you can't know exactly what it is. It could be her upbringing, social factors like past relationships. You can never tell. You love her, so please go the extra mile. Just go all out and knock it out. And finally, okay, 2 more. Robert says, if she doesn't change, don't marry her. If you don't like her character, don't marry her. The marriage will collapse. Never expect someone to change from bad to good after marriage. And Peter has the final word. He says, thank God she doesn't hide her character from you. She can be a very good wife. Try to let her understand you better, and let her also understand you, is what you say. Okay, says, my wife has been the same, and it took us some time before we could gel. You as the man has to be more patient to draw her closer to you. You know Rome was not built in a day, right? Since you love her, show her more love with a lot of patience. In fact, today I'm enjoying my wife, even though it has not been easy. Great. It's Sister Citi TV, Citi FM. We'll go for yet another commercial break. We'll be right back.
Little man, just see him go. This baby can run all day long. I wonder what I would do if there were 2 of him. I am very happy I decided to wait before having another child. Luckily, I met a family planning advisor at a salon who gave me great advice. I also claimed the Advantage Secure gifts. Now I can space the birth of my children as I want. With Secure, I decide.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA. Hello, sweetheart. Tell me whatever you want. I will take you to Melcom and buy for you.
Oh, you are so late, Masa. I also received the SMS and I'm even planning going shopping now. So if you are ready, let's go, baby.
Melcom is back again with the hot Black Friday deals in this month of November.
Yeah! Shop at Melcom for your hot Black Friday deals every day in the month of November.
Ranging from supermarkets,
household,
furniture,
groceries,
electronics. In fact, there are thousands of these hot deals in any Melcom shop nationwide.
Melcom Black Friday.
It's simply unbeatable. But remember,
terms and conditions apply.
Melcom,
where Ghana shop.
Sister brought to you by Vodafone and Secure, the secure pill that is, that's been protecting families for over 30 years. No kidding. Your comments are welcome, 054-998-6996. You can also send an email to jessica@citifmonline.com. And if you do not know, we are also on Facebook and we have a really large community there. Search for Sister Live, Live. You'll see our logo, this really nice logo here, right? And then like the page, send us a DM, offer advice, because we put some of the questions that we receive on the show that are not able to actually make it to air on that platform as well. And you can help someone out there who does need your support. So join us. We would love to have you. Message here says, hello, I politely asked my wife whether she's cheating on me because she doesn't pick my calls. She got really upset and is packed out of the house. I went to plead with her, but she says she's not coming back because I don't trust her. What do I do? I'm dying slowly. Yeah. Savvy, would you want to take this one first? Pretty short.
First of all, I feel like we're getting the short end of the stick here with this one. How do you go from she's not answering my calls, why are you cheating on me? There's more to the story, and for me personally, this has more to do with him than her. Whether it's his past, whether it's their relationship, but there's a high level of anxiety here, and we might possibly, so sorry to say, dealing with some low self-esteem. And sometimes we may think that our partners are cheating on us because we don't feel secure in the relationship. Whether there's something missing, such as communication, intimacy, trust, connection, common interest. It could be a number of things, right? And so that's why I'm saying to you, I don't feel like it's about her not answering the phone. I think that there are things that he's feeling that he hasn't been sharing with her, but the problem presents itself as you're not answering the phone. So it's either she's not answering the phone or they've dealt with this problem before, where there's been an issue and she doesn't answer the phone because she's busy with sugar, busy or with whatever, something. But yeah, I feel like there's a short end of the stick, but there's a lot of uncertainty here with the brothers, and I think for him, he needs to ask himself, why did he feel this way? And did he say this to her with no proof? So is he having all these feelings in his head, hypothetical scenarios based on no proof? Has he seen something? I think that he should have had a conversation with her, and he should have made it about himself. He should have spoken about how he's things that made it easier for them to connect with his problems so that they could connect, And maybe sometimes it's hard for a man to show his insecurities, and he didn't want to come across as an insecure person. But this needed a situation where she could see what his perspective is, where he's coming from. It could be she's moved out because she's had enough. it could be she's moved out because she feels that she's constantly having to explain herself. She's constantly having to tell him where she is. She's constantly having to check in, and she might feel that she's done nothing wrong. Meanwhile, it might have absolutely nothing to do with her, and everything to do with his insecurities, either from what they've gone through as a couple or things that he's gone through before, but he's ashamed to talk about. So for me, it's a very hard one to talk about because I feel like we're not getting the full story. Mm-hmm. Because as someone who's got a mind, who's thinking, I would not naturally go from my partner's not answering his calls, therefore you're cheating. It just doesn't make sense. So there's an underlying factor here for me, and whether she is or not for me is not the issue. For me, the issue is the fear that he's under, the mistrust that he's feeling, and the lack of communication between the two of them. Because I'm also not understanding, fine, it can be annoying, but if that was the first time he said to her, "You're cheating," would you just move out the house? I wouldn't just pack my bags. I'd be like, what you talking about?
Like, stop kidding, right?
And what a god, like, come on, Charlie. No.
I feel you. I mean, it just seems really extreme. Like someone, accuses you of, says you don't pick your phone, and then you vex, you've left home. I feel like there's so much information we do not have. But
exactly. Exactly. My thing is, I mean, Savi just said it point blank, like she hit the nail right on the head. My question is it working properly? His tin, is it working? Because, it's funny, the weirdest things just make some men so insecure. It could be finances, it could be his will is probably not working, probably she's worried about the fact that he can't get her to have an orgasm. Like, you never know. Like, the guy is just like, Charlie, I'm not making my wife happy, and I'm feeling so insecure. And she's had enough. I mean, Savi said it. Like, after the first time you say it, the second time, and it's like, okay, all of a sudden I'm not picking up my phone calls. And does that mean that I'm cheating on you? I mean, for crying out loud, it could be that, she was taking care of the kids, she was at work, something came up, she couldn't pick up. You saw her at home. Have a conversation with her. Tell her, babe, okay, listen, I really love you to bits. I want this marriage to work. This is how I feel. I feel insecure. Like, rather than text us on the show, I feel like, well, it's good that you texted us, you sent us this message, but you know what? Man to man, at a certain point in time, it's not about your ego as a man or whatever. Sit your woman down. She's not Odumowa tree that you can't get through to her. Sit her down and say to her, babe, Charlie, you know what? Like, I'm feeling insecure. Like, there's nothing wrong in telling your wife that you're feeling insecure. I'm feeling insecure. When you don't pick up your phone, like, my mind just goes mad, man. Like, I don't know where you're at. I don't know what's happening. I really love you. I'm doing all this because I really love you and I want our marriage to work. Like, romance her. Give her some, I don't know, like, tickle her, something, and let her feel like, hey, Charlie, this man, he's actually serious. And I think, talk a bit more about your feelings and about how you want her to meet you halfway, and take her out. Go back to basics. What used to bring you guys together to connect? That is, if you are feeling so insecure, go back to the basics. Go back to taking her out. Go back to talking a bit more. Go back to the beginning and work on it. I think that it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's impossible not to salvage what is happening. And I'm happy that based on your submission, we've been able to tell you that you are insecure. I don't think it's your wife. So right now that she's gone out of the house, this is what you do. You call her back. You beg her 1,000,001 times. You tell her, honey, babe, I am sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. That's the thing. I was not actually thinking. But we are for real. You and me, Charlie, like Bob Marley and we, there's nothing, and wrap her. Try and do everything on this planet to get her back and make her work. You know, make her work. And I mean, Charlie, this woman, she's all yours. It's a little thing. And then when it comes to the thing too, just make sure that, like I told the brothers the last time, eat the things that you're supposed to be eating well. Exercise. Make sure you have your A game on. Don't just go pam, 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 pam. Make sure that in that capacity too, she's well fed and satisfied. Charlie, little things. And by the time you realize, your marriage will be back on track.
There you go. Problem solved. Drop mic.
My. Oh, Jessica. So I think he ended up by saying that he was what? Slowly dying. And then you die, Mom.
Oh.
Because, I mean, I don't know how, one, you the whole paradox of I politely asked if she was cheated. Which one is that? Because that
I was about to ask
me.
you ladies, like, how do you do that?
Like, politely so he said it in a nice voice, or he said it with a smiley face.
As he said it in a bad voice.
Sure you're cheating, honey.
You must be cheating. Now, who cheating? Like, I don't even understand. So all that is, it just clearly, as we've all said, shows how insecure you are. If my husband hasn't been able to get in touch with me for a few hours, as soon as I pick up the phone, it'll be like, hey, are you okay? I was trying to call you. Oh, I'm so sorry, I was in a meeting. I was here, sister. You know, it could be all kinds of things, you know. Oh, my phone died, I didn't have my charger. It could be all kinds of things. So we don't just suddenly arrive at, are you cheating on me? So it really speaks volumes as to his own makeup, his own thinking of where the relationship is. And like she said, you don't trust me. So if she's finally packed up her bags and moved out and refuses to come back home, it's clearly not based on the fact this one incident that she called. I mean, he called and then she didn't pick up, so she's moved out. This means that probably she must have been dealing with his insecurities showing in the most mundane things ever. Oh, you look nice today. Why are you going to meet somebody? You know, those kind of little comments, it's just really built up, and she's like, you clearly do not trust me, then what really is the point? So the work is on you. You have to work on yourself, because there's you, there's me, and then there's us. And if you are not right, then there can be me and there can be us together. So he really has to work on himself a lot. Know that you have, like all that Olivia said, if you have the woman, you have the woman. If you treat her well, you care for her, you love her, you express all these things, there's no woman, really reasonable one, who would, you know, suddenly just get up and leave and then go and cheat. It means that there might not be something working somewhere, some lack of communication, some lack of emotional fulfillment, something not going right. But if you're doing all these things, then why, therefore, oh brethren, are you insecure to this extent that she misses your phone call small, no, you must be cheating? Come on. So do better, my friend. Abba.
All right. So, I mean, the girls have said it all, man. I'm not going to even get into it. But, you know, if you're home dying slowly, you might as well go and die at your doorstep. Go and beg. It's that simple. Just go and beg. Say, my love, I'll never do it again. Like, you know, go the whole 9 yards, and you should be good to go. This is where we end the show. It's been great. Savvy, thank you so much for your audience all the way from South Africa. Really appreciate it. Olivia, Demi as well for coming through to the show. And to you, our audience, for watching every single week. We appreciate your attention. My name is Jessica. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks to our sponsors, Vodafone and Secure. We'll be back same time next week. Bye-bye.
Sister is sponsored by Secure. Secure, you decide. And Vodafone Ghana. The future is exciting. Ready?